Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Asked Us, as in, if you did not know, you should have asked us, with Cairo and Daisy. Okay, so I gotta be honest here, who hasn't heard the phrase hawk Tuah lately?
It's everywhere, right?
It's inescapable.
It really is. But, today we're not just looking at the meme, we're kind of going deeper.
Yeah.
Figuring out how Haliey Welch, this woman from, basically nowhere, suddenly became, kind of a big deal online.
Yeah, it's wild how fast things can go from a small town interview to millions of views, completely upend someone's whole life,
It really does. You have to wonder, right, what makes some of these things just stick around? This wasn't some, big marketing thing. This was just her.
Exactly.
She's from Belfast, Tennessee. I mean, have you heard of it?
No.
Me neither. It's tiny. We're talking no stoplights, one gas station small.
Wow.
Yeah. So different from the whole internet fame thing. And that's often the heart of it, right? The unexpectedness. It's in a world where everyone's trying to be, picture perfect online, there's something really refreshing, captivating even about that genuine, unfiltered, realness.
It's true. It's we all want that real connection or something. And with Haliey, you can just tell in that CMA Fest clip, she's just being herself, They asked her this pretty personal question about spicing things up in the bedroom and boom, hawk Tuah. I mean, who knew, right?
Right. And it's funny because, most of these things are a flash in the pan here today, gone tomorrow, right?
Totally.
But why does something like hawk Tuah hang around? What makes it stick with us?
That is the million-dollar question, and that's what we're going to unpack today. But
yeah.
I think to get it, really get it, we got to get her.
100%.
Who is Haliey Welch outside of this whole hawk Tuah thing?
Exactly. What's her story?
Right. So before the interview, before any of this happened, she lived a pretty, normal life in Belfast. Like I said, small town.
Can't even imagine, going from that to, suddenly everyone knows this thing you said.
Right. And get this, before the fame, she worked at a spring factory. Springs.
No way.
Yeah. I think that's what makes this whole thing so, relatable.
Totally. It's we all know what it's like to feel ordinary.
Yeah.
And then to see someone just, skyrocket from that to extraordinary, it's like a fairy tale,
And, it's got to be strange, right? You wake up one day and boom, you're a meme.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
That's Haliey. One day, normal life. Next day, hawk Tuah girl.
Wild, right? Totally. It's a whole psychological thing, right?
Yeah.
This instant fame, probably exhilarating, but also whoa.
Exactly. And, she's talked about this, how, embarrassed she was when it first blew up.
Oh, I bet.
She actually, went off the grid for a few weeks, no social media or anything.
I get it. It's overwhelming,
For sure. And it kind of shows you she's got a good head on her shoulders, not jumping into the whole fame game right away.
Right. She's not just chasing the spotlight.
Exactly. And that probably comes from her upbringing, too. She's really close with her grandmother, calls her Granny. They lived together back in Belfast.
That kind of close family, that's huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when everything else is changing so fast.
Right. Totally. And, they've got this shared sense of humor. You can just tell. Even when the whole hawk Tuah craziness hit, Granny was right there with her, being supportive, probably making jokes about it all.
Love it. That's what it's all about, right?
It makes you wonder, though, how would everyone else react? Her dad, her brothers?
Right. What do they think?
Well, her dad seems super chill about it, classic dad. And her brothers, they just think it's hilarious.
But it's amazing.
Right. Sounds like a pretty solid family, They're able to laugh about it together.
Totally. And that's, that's important, right? Having that support system. Especially since she's, stepping into this whole new world.
Oh, yeah. Hawk Tuah Girl 2 podcast host.
Right. It's so smart, taking this one moment and building something real from it.
It's crazy. It's already number 3 on Spotify's comedy charts or something.
Seriously, that's huge.
Yeah. And it's good too. She's interviewing people, talking about dating, giving advice. It's super relatable.
That's awesome. It really shows she gets it. She's not trying to be something she's not.
Exactly. She's still that same down-to-earth Haliey, just, with a bigger platform now.
And get this, she's using that platform for good, too.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about the Paws Across America thing.
Right. It's this animal charity, super close to her heart. She could just be, riding the fame wave, but she's actually trying to make a difference.
It's so cool to see, she's using this whole thing to do some good in the world.
For sure.
But it does make you kind of wonder, what's next, Hollywood's calling. She's got this podcast blowing up.
Right. Where does she go from here?
Because from what I've read, it seems like she really loves her life back in Belfast. Like, she's talked about how much she values that, that small town vibe.
It's a good reminder, right? Like, fame and fortune, that's not everything. Sometimes it's the simple things,
Yeah, totally. And maybe that's part of why we love her story so much. It's like, the world feels kind of crazy right now, and she's this breath of fresh air, just being herself, connected to her roots.
Yeah, it makes you rethink the whole idea of, like, what it means to be a viral sensation.
Right, like, you can go through something like that and still stay grounded.
Totally, and that's something we can all learn from, I think.
Definitely. So, yeah, next time you hear someone say Hawk Tuah, maybe you'll think about Haliey's story, right?
Yeah.
This small-town woman who took this, like, totally random moment and turned it into something real, something that makes people laugh, think a little, and maybe even inspires them to do some good, too.
I love that.
It's a good reminder that, sometimes the most amazing things come from the most unexpected places.
All right, before you head out, don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe, or stay connected button.
Trust us, you'll want to be here for it. So subscribe, share, and tell your friends.
We'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time.